Thank you all so much for joining us today. My name is Heather, and I am the clinical educator in Queensland here at Professional Beauty Solutions. And there's Miss Rachel. Good morning.
Good morning, Heather. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today.
We are so excited to have you here. Rachel and I have really been looking forward to this webinar. It's going to be a really good one. Um, Now, as we continue to get everyone to come through, please introduce yourselves in the chat. We'd love to see who's here and who is joining us this morning. So don't be shy, say hi to us. And make sure when you are popping anything in the chat, if you just set it to everyone, just so then we can make sure that we can see everything that comes through. We haven't done a webinar together yet, have we, Rach?
No, I think this is our first one. Been looking forward
Very,
to it. It's going to be a fun one. It's a bit different to our other Tuesdays at 10, so
it
it's a good one.
is. Yeah, absolutely. So, as Rachel said, today's webinar is a little bit different to how we normally run them. We're actually going to be taking you through some real life scenarios, a little bit of role play. I think it's just so brilliant sometimes to, yes, hear things in theory, but hear them be put into practice is even more powerful sometimes. Well, everyone's saying good morning. Hi, everyone. Alrighty, so let's maybe kick things off. Today's webinar is the missing link in consultations, and we are thrilled to have you joining us, whether you are here watching live or you are watching the replay of this webinar. Thank you for being here and joining Rachel and I. Everyone saying good morning. Thank you so much. Good morning to you all. So, Rach, feel free to kick things off.
Yeah. All right. So we are, like Heather said, really excited to connect with all of you guys today. We want this to be as interactive as possible. So don't be shy. Like Heather said, share your thoughts, talk to us. Otherwise, Heather and I are just going to keep on talking to each other. So would love your input in there today. Now, as we do move through today's webinar, one of our top priorities is to make sure that all of your questions are answered. So as you listen, and if you think of any questions, please pop them into that chat box, making sure that you hit reply to everyone so we can all see your amazing questions. Heather and I are going to try our hardest to make sure that we get through all of them by the end of the session, at the end of the webinar today. If you are watching this as a recording, or if we do not get to your questions, we're very sorry. We will get back to you. But you can always reach out to the education team as well. And you can reach us at education@probeautysolutions.com.au.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here to support you. So feel free to reach out with any questions that you have. But let's just dive straight in. Let's get into it. Now, today's webinar, it tackles a common challenge that many therapists face. You spend your time and your energy conducting these amazing consultations. You craft the perfect treatment plan and you spend that time with your client, all for it to get down to, that commitment and the client walking away without having committed to your treatment plan or not interested in taking the products, whatever it might be. This is something that we see often. And I know that we've all had an experience like this as a therapist where you just sit back and you go, what happened? Where did it go wrong?
100%. Hey, and it is so frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have done everything by the book, but something still doesn't click for the client, and you're left wondering what went wrong? Where did it go wrong? The truth is that there is a missing link, and today we are here to really identify that missing link or missing links, and really help you turn a five-star consultation into a successful sale.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to do this by breaking it down into five key concepts. So we're going to guide you all the way from the consultation room through building that treatment plan and then ultimately closing the sale.
Yeah, and this is all about practical strategies that you guys are going to be able to implement right away to ensure that your consultations really result in that committed client. So, everyone get ready. We're going to take a deep dive. We're going to make your consultations more effective than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to start the webinar by diving into the foundation of it all, which is the classroom. Your journey to a successful consultation truly does begin with classroom training and education. Here at Professional Beauty Solutions, one of our core values is education, and we truly believe that in order to be confident in your prescriptions to your clients, you have to be confident in your product. So we'd love anyone who is here on the webinar right now. If you've been to classroom training, feel free to shout out which training you've been to. We host our classroom training all throughout Australia. Our amazing education team looks after the in-clinic and your classroom side of things. We're immersing you in the world of ingredients and delivery systems. But it's not just theory, and that's the most powerful thing about classroom training is the fact that you get that hands-on experience with the products as you learn. We also guide you through those professional protocols. So what that means is in order for you to then go back into your business with confidence, you've had the opportunity to learn the pro tips, learn about the products, and experience them hand on. By the end of the classroom training session, you really do have a real grasp on the brand to be able to bring it back into your business. And we do this by giving you numerous learning tools and resources that are designed to support you well beyond the classroom. They're really to make that learning process as seamless as possible for you. Now, the first resource is, well, your workbook, I guess. It's invaluable, right, Rach?
Yeah, that's like your Bible, for want of a better term. Like, it's incredible.
100%. One of the most wonderful things of classroom training, and I know personally it's one of my favorite aspects, is the conversations because they're so powerful. Through that collaboration, you learn new ways to describe a product, or someone might have a magic formula story or a pro tip, or maybe someone's struggling with a product and we can workshop that through together. And that's what's so amazing. Your workbook is where you can capture all of this. Really make the most of that resource and note down little things that you hear from each other and little tips because it doesn't matter how long you've been doing something, right? There's always more to learn and you never know everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
can't say that as enough. I learn every single time I do any sort of training, be it in classroom or in clinic. I'm always picking up maybe somehow how to coin a particular term or how to explain something, but you never stop learning.
100%. And that's what makes, you an amazing therapist is that hunger to learn. I think that's so important. And in classroom training as well, we work on case studies together. So it gives you the ability to really put what you've learned into practice. You're collaborating with other professionals as well and creating these personalized home care prescriptions. As we know with our cosmeceutical ranges, it's not always a one size fits all, and there's definitely room to move within that prescription. So it's really awesome to have the opportunity to hear how someone else would prescribe for that client and pick up new ideas from each other. We also give you several different cheat sheets, and this is everything from your um, everything from your product knowledge, ingredients, highlights, all the way to treatment planning and combined modalities. And when used effectively, these resources not only make that transition from classroom to client smooth, but it's really designed to continue to support your success long after training. I know I still have all of my workbooks from all the way from studying my diploma of beauty therapy basically until now. I've kept everything, and I'm sure, Rach, you're probably the same.
Yep. Yep. I still have them and I still reference them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we have a couple of things coming here in the chat. Ella, how do we access classroom training? Now, if you're wanting to attend classroom training, absolutely reaching out to your wonderful business development manager is the first step to be able to assess what is happening in your area with the brands that you are partnered with, and then they will be able to assist you with getting booked into that training. And Sammy says she's been to all of them. We love that.
I'd also add on there, Heather, on our website, on the Professional Beauty website as well, there is also a timetable of all the classroom trainings that we run throughout Australia. And there's also an expression of interest and where you can register as well. And you can always just call head office, and the lovely customer service team will also be able to let you know when the next classroom training is for you and your state and your brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So after learning about a product range and attending our classroom training or our focus training, the next crucial step is translation. So talking or taking everything that you've learnt and communicating it in a way that really resonates with your clients. Now, as professionals, we get, or I at least, I think most of us do, get really excited about the sciencey, nerdy stuff behind the products, like the delivery systems and the ingredients and what they're doing to each layer of the skin. But our clients may not be as familiar with certain terms like biomimetic peptides or epigenetics or the basal layer. And look, it's our job as professionals to present this information in a way that's easy to understand, and especially for those clients who don't share our foundational knowledge. I think it's quite easy for us to forget that all of this incredible knowledge that we have, we've learned over years and we've studied hard and all of that. And the average client doesn't have this knowledge. So we need to keep that in mind when we're talking to them. So this is one of the most common gaps in consultations and prescriptions. We don't want to give our client a training session. That's not what they're there for. What we are there for, instead, we need to translate that information that we've gathered from our training into that consumer-friendly language. So a little example just to put that into practice is, let's say my lovely client here, Heather, has come in for a consultation and a spa facial. And she mentions to me as we're going through that consultation that her primary concern is fine lines and wrinkles. Now, as a professional, I might be tempted to say, Heather, you're concerned about aging, and my 0.25% encapsulated retinol is perfect for that. Now, while I know the benefits of that percentage and I know the benefits of that encapsulation, my client probably doesn't, or it won't resonate really well with them. So instead of saying that to lovely Heather, we could say, Heather, you're concerned about aging, and I have this incredible vitamin A that works wonders for fine lines and wrinkles. It's a really gentle retinol, which means that it's going to be kinder to your skin and it's going to continue to deliver anti-aging benefits for up to 48 hours after application. this approach is really going to help to bridge that gap and bridge that missing link to make it easier for our clients to connect with and also understand the value of the treatment or the value of the product that we're recommending to them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We've just had a comment come through. We went to Pure Fiji classroom training in July. We loved it so much, and our sales have really improved since then. Thanks so much, Anthea. That's beautiful feedback. If anyone else has any awesome stories like that to share, feel free to pop them down into the chat. We love to hear it. Now, we've just had another question come through, Rach, from Ella. How would we say how the products work or the benefit behind the product?
We'll go through some more practical implementations in how we would talk about the product or the benefit. I think the main thing that we like to talk about is more so the ingredient, and we will go a bit more into this, but rather than talking about the product itself, for instance, the image hyaluronic filler doesn't mean too much to clients, but taking out a specific ingredient and then pulling out what the benefits that ingredient's going to do to their skin rather than talking about a product itself. You can talk about key ingredients, which is when you're at classroom training, we are going through those key ingredients, but yeah, we'll have some more examples as we go through today as well. So hopefully that'll answer your question by the end, Ella. But please come back to us at the end if we still haven't clarified that properly for you.
Yeah, beautiful. Thanks, Rach. So, consumer language, we've spoken about consumer language. Now, let's put it into practice during the consultation.
Yeah. So look, earlier this year, our education team and our business development managers came together and we created a incredible, can't speak properly to this morning, Heather. I think I need another coffee. They we created an incredible two-part webinar series. Now, it's a comprehensive guide to consultations. It covers everything from your pre-planning your day to the key questions to ask your clients and why we ask them. It's called Mastering the Art of Retail Sales, and it's available on demand on the Professional Beauty Solutions YouTube page. It's a really excellent resource. So if you guys haven't watched that, be sure to check it out today. Heather and I are focusing more on those missing links, but to really dive into those consultations, it's a two-part series, like I said, and really, really useful to planning your day and really nutting out why we ask specific questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so setting ourselves up for success. Now, first impressions, they're crucial and they set the tone for the entire appointment. So it's vital that we get it right from the moment that that client walks in the front door. Ideally, there should be just one person at reception. Okay, so when you have multiple staff members behind the counter, it can actually feel really intimidating as a client, especially for new clients. Would you say that, Rach?
Absolutely. I don't know about you guys, but even in like clothing stores, if there's multiple people behind the counter, that's really quite intimidating. And I sometimes don't go into shops
Yeah.
because of that. So yeah, one person behind reception at all times when a client's entering in.
Yeah, absolutely. And when that client does arrive, the person who's behind reception, that client should now be your top priority. It doesn't matter how busy you are. You know, you don't want to finish sending a text message before you look up and greet the client. You don't want to, finish sending the email that you were sending before you look up and acknowledge them. You really want to make that client feel welcomed and valued right from the start. Direct them where to sit, offer them a drink, and take a moment to explain how to fill out the consultation form. These seemingly small things are the things that really make such a difference to your client's first impressions of your business. Now, If you are in the reception area while a client happens to be waiting for their appointment, you really want to make sure you keep your conversation professional. We've all been these clients, and we know that clients coming to our business will do the same thing. That time that they're sitting and waiting for their appointment, I can guarantee you they're observing their surroundings, they're looking around. Ensuring that that reception area is tidy, that the little table that's sitting next to them is dust free, making sure that things are well stocked and your shelves look really tidy, that you haven't got heavy metal blaring when they walk in, that consultation room and that reception area, the music's appropriate for the environment you're in, it's relaxing. I think as well, one of the biggest things is I know sometimes we get so busy and sometimes we fall behind in our day. All it takes is to run 5 minutes late and it kind of pushes the rest of your day out. But it is really important that if you are running late and you have a client waiting for you, keep them informed. Let them know that you are running a little bit behind, that they have an explanation, that they know you haven't just forgotten about them. Now, when it comes to yourself as a therapist, I think it's really important to also remember you're a canvas of your work. You want to be well presented, you want to be neatly dressed. If you look like you've been pulled through a bush on the way to work, it doesn't instill confidence in your client. You want to look the part because if you look the part, you'll feel the part. We work such long days as therapists. We're on our feet, we're busy. It's important to also remember bring some items to freshen up at work. You might want to bring deodorant or some hair ties, some mints, because you want to be able to freshen up quickly when you are working that 9 until 9. You want to feel fresh, and that client that you're seeing at 7 p.m. at night is having that same 5-star experience that your client at 9 a.m. had.
Mm.
When it comes to now actually conducting the consultation, so you greet the client, you're ready to take them into the room, it is really important that the area that you're consulting in is private and that it's welcoming. You want to avoid consulting in the reception area or anywhere where there's other clients and distractions. You really want to make sure that you have a private room available where you have two chairs at the same height, one for you, one for your client. Again, I know it seems like such a small detail, but it's these seemingly small details that will just subconsciously put the client at ease, makes them feel a lot more relaxed, a lot more comfortable if you are sitting at the same level, as opposed to you towering over them, which can be really intimidating. So you don't want to consult with you standing up and your client sitting down. You want to make it, as comfortable of a process as you can. And these small things will make such a big difference.
Absolutely.
Now, if you guys watching have a special area that you conduct your consultations, we'd love to hear from you. If you do it in the treatment rooms, if you have somewhere specifically dedicated to your consultations, please share it in the chat, Rach, and I would love to hear from you guys. But it's important to remember as well, the consultation doesn't just end there.
Mm.
A really successful therapist understands that the consultation extends beyond just filling out paperwork. That consultation is where we do our fact finding. We establish our client's main concerns. We've agreed on the treatment that we're going to do today. We've gone through medications and allergies, the formalities, right? Once our client is on that treatment bed, that consultation needs to continue. This is now your chance to examine the skin, to really feel and assess the skin in detail. And you want to use this time to discuss your observations and actually educate your client on what you're seeing. I used to see it a lot when I was teaching in the RTO system, therapists who weren't quite so confident yet, and they were doing skin analysis and doing all the right things, touching and feeling the skin, but forgetting to educate the client as to what they were seeing when they were examining the skin. That's really important. So, an example of this could look like I've got Rachel on my treatment bed. She's come in for a facial. We've done our consultation, and we have discovered that Rachel's number one concern is aging. So she's on my bed, and I might say, Rachel, you mentioned your number one concern is aging. Now, I am noticing that your skin's quite dehydrated. Now, if we can improve that, you'll actually notice that a lot of those little fine lines that you were pointing out to me are actually going to plump right out. And hyaluronic acid is going to give your skin the big drink of water that it needs. So, we can talk about a couple of ways to incorporate this into your routine at the end of the treatment today. How does that sound?
Sounds really good to me, actually. Would love to be love to be on bed at the moment getting a facial. That sounds wonderful.
Oh, I know, wouldn't we all? So, as Rachel touched on earlier, by talking about specific ingredients and how they're going to improve the concern as opposed to products, clients are much more receptive. And I think it's important to remember we want to try and gain that subtle commitment throughout the entire process. So, by asking your client, how does that sound? We're asking for their permission to be prescribing products at the end of the service that are going to improve their concerns. We don't want to just talk about products and then wait until the very end to say, would you like to take those today? We want our client to buy in during the consultation and start to really envision these products and ingredients in their routine. Now, we've just had another little chat come through, Renee saying that it is herself and her client at any one time, so it's lovely and private. That's awesome. And we're glad that this is a great refresher. Thank you so much for joining us. So, as important as a comprehensive consultation is, we also need to remember when to stop talking.
Mhm.
So, that conversation should wind down by the time we reach exfoliation. There needs to just be a point in that facial where the client's able to switch off and enjoy their treatment. Because at the end of the day, that's what they're there for, is to relax just as much as they're there to get results. So we don't want to be talking about products the whole time. We need to allow our clients the opportunity to actually relax. If we don't, it just feels like a sales pitch. And as soon as it feels like a sales pitch, the client's just going to close off and isn't going to be receptive at all. So at the end of the treatment is where we should be tying it all together. Now, as we're applying the finishing products, I've given Rachel this beautiful facial. She's lovely and relaxed. As we start to get to wake up time, we're almost finished, and I'm applying those products. I want to be explaining to Rachel what I'm putting on her skin. So, Rachel, this is a hyaluronic acid booster that's going on your skin now. This is what's going to give your skin that big drink of water. You can be using this morning and night. You're just going to pop it on underneath your moisturizer. How does that feel on the skin?
Mhm. It's wonderful.
Wonderful. So, if we are tying it all back at the end, it's ensuring that that information is fresh again for the client. And then all you need to do from there really is close the sale.
Hmm. That's again, I need to book in for a facial. Um, so the treatment plan commitment, this is another really crucial part of your consultation, is establishing the treatment plan for your client. Once we've understood our client's main concerns and what they're hoping to achieve, as well as their time frame, and also their level of commitment, it is time to create a personalized treatment plan based on their needs. Now, as professionals, we know that skin transformation takes time, don't we? We all know that. However, I know that we have all had clients that want their results from treatment one. And I think in today's day and age, I guess everyone's all about right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, by creating a treatment plan and a personalized treatment plan, we are going to really establish those realistic expectations and those timeframes for our clients. We're also going to be able to give them then a really clear pathway on how we, so you and them together, are going to achieve their desired results. The treatment plan should detail the treatments necessary. It should detail how often they need to be performed. It should also, it's also the perfect opportunity to really discuss treatment packages and offers that you may have as well. So buy five, get one free. And like I said just before, it should be tailored to each person. It shouldn't just be the same package for each person. So not everyone's going to, not every, sorry, losing my train of thoughts in the middle of things. Not every treatment plan is going to be the same for everyone. We don't just want a box standard, this is your treatment plan. We really need to, when we're creating these treatment plans, remember that every single client is unique and not the same. Everyone's unique. Everyone's got different circumstances, different time frames, different expectations, different skin, different lifestyles, different everyone thing. Everyone is unique. So each person is going to come with different needs and factors that are going to influence those recommendations that you're going to provide to them. And it's crucial to base the treatment plan on the individual in front of you rather than falling into that habit of just suggesting a treatment plan because maybe it's your personal favorite or because you had another client purchase it that day, or because you've got a deal on it at the moment. We need to tailor it to them. And flexibility is key here. So you want to work collaboratively with your client to really create a treatment plan and a home care program that's going to work and suit for them. Now, back when I was in treatment rooms, what we used to do was provide options for our clients. And I know Heather will talk about this in a moment about yes, no answers. And it's going to kind of play into practice here as well. So after my treatment, I would get my client up off the bed, tell them to take their time, get themselves dressed, take a seat. I'll be back in shortly. I'd be going out to grab them maybe a cup of herbal tea or a glass of water. In this time as well is when I'm getting together my home care products and my treatment plan that I've already discussed in the consultation, that I've already then talked through at the beginning of my facial and had that soft confirmation from my client. Now I'm going to bring that all home. And options is where I started on this one for. So with my treatment plan and with my take-home products, I would create three. Now, the first one that I would create would be the best of the best. It would be, let's say there was no objections, no time constraints, no money constraints. This program and these products, home care products, are going to fix everything that they want to get fixed. So that would be, say, my top tier program. Then right down to the other extreme, I would have my very, very basic program. It's got maybe a serum in it because we know serums treat our clients' concerns the fastest rather than a full skincare regime. So it would have maybe a serum and an SPF and a couple of treatment plans in there, just not very regular and not heaps. So it would start making a dent into what that client's concerned with. It's not going to completely fix it. We're not going to get as good results, but at least it's that first step forward. And then in the middle, I would have the one that I'm hoping my client will, well, that my client will take home, which is not absolutely everything and not the bare minimums, but a really good start where the treatment plan might be for six or so treatments. It'll have a really comprehensive skincare regime for home and that's ideally what we're going to get them started on, because that's going to make a huge improvement in their concern and the problems that they're looking at. So I'd go back into the treatment room and present these to my client. Now, the reason why I do this is if I go into my client and say, these are my products, this is my treatment plan, how does that sound to you? Or do you want to take this home? They've got an option to say no there. So the reason why I've given them three choices is they're more likely to choose from those three choices than to say no. So it's just a little bit of, yeah, giving them,
Human
trying to
nature.
articulate what I'm saying here, but basically giving your client some choices rather than just yes and no. I've given them three different packages at three different price ranges and three different take-home options for their skincare as well. More than likely, most of the time, I won't say 100%, but most of the time the clients took that middle package. And I think, like you just said, Heather, it's human nature to do that. Sometimes I'd get the higher ones and sometimes I get the basic ones, but I'd always get a sale out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, you can do this amazing consultation. But I think one of the biggest missing links is that confidence to close the sale.
Mm.
And if we can't do that well, then we lose the client. And I
Mhm.
feel like that's actually probably the biggest missing link in consultations is that ability to confidently close that sale. And it all comes down to mindset. Like Rachel just touched on, giving clients options is much more powerful than a yes or no answer. And we'll discuss why shortly. But when it comes to being a therapist, I know that I've heard this all the time in trainings is, I don't want to sell to my client or I don't want to be pushy. And, we get into this industry because we care about people. We're nurturers and we want to look after people. So naturally, when you think of the word selling, you think of the pushy car salesman and it's not appealing. But what if selling was actually a positive thing? We need to change our mindset around retailing and recommendations. I like to think of it like this. If I went to an amazing restaurant and I had the most wonderful food, I had the best service, I would want to share that experience. I'd want to tell my mum, my best friends, because I want them to have that same incredible experience. I know how brilliant dinner was and I'm confident to recommend it. So we need to think about products and our treatments in the same way. If you truly believe in your skincare range, you truly believe in the treatments that you're offering, why wouldn't you want your clients to experience those? Your client, they've come to you for a reason. They've stepped foot in your front door because they have a problem and they're coming to you for a solution. You're the professional and you're sharing your knowledge to give your clients the best results in the shortest possible time.
Yeah, absolutely. Heather, we just had a little question pop up
Mm.
before we continue on, asking if we have examples of these packages. So not specifically because you need to, like we said, tailor it to your clients and their concerns, but an example would be, say, a client's come in with pigmentation. And we know that lightening, brightening ingredients, we know vitamin A, we know AHAs, and we know SPF are going to be some really beneficial ingredients to send our clients home with. So home care products, you could have in your basic package just a serum that's got transexamic acid in it. The middle one could be a cleanser, a serum, a night cream, and an SPF. And then your top tier could be that plus a mask, plus an eye cream, plus a neck cream. So it's just tapering those up. And then treatment plans, again, the first one could be maybe just two peels. The middle one could be a series of six peels, also a couple of needlings in there. And then your top tier could be a 6-month program with alternating peels and needling, maybe some IPL in there as well. So it's just creating 3 different packages for your clients. Just like I said, and like Heather said, to give them options to choose from rather than just say, this is what you have to do. These are the products you have to use. And the client's like, oh, and then they say no. So at least with 3, we've got a few options. And again, human nature is to at least choose one of those options rather than the no that we haven't give them an option for. Hope that
Yeah,
makes sense.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's brilliant. I think
Yeah.
that answered that question beautifully. Thanks, Rach.
That's all right. So going off what Heather said about with having that confidence to prescribe is half of it. The other half of it is also the language that we're using. And it's human nature. If someone's faced with that yes or no question, like we've been saying, they're more than likely to say no, whereas people like to be given options, and they like to be able to make their decision. Now, when we're prescribing to the client and closing the sale, we want to be aware of the words that we're using. We want to avoid saying things like, Heather, do you want to purchase this serum and moisturizer today? Because there's a yes no answer there. Instead, changing that language ever so slightly and saying, Heather, which one of these would you like to take with you today? Or Heather, does that sound good to you? And also nodding at the same time. Your client's more likely to choose something instead of saying no to everything. So it's just tweaking words ever so slightly. You could also say, which package would you like to take with you today? Or which one of these do you see yourself using the most or implementing the most? So it's really changing those little bits. Language really is key.
Yeah, and can I just add something there, Rach?
Yeah.
Because I think you just touched on something that is gold. Body language. It's not
Mm,
just the verbal language that you're using, it's the body language. Having positive body language, being open, not standing there crossing your arms like
mhm.
this, nodding, smiling. Those are things that are going to make a client feel a lot more comfortable, and a lot more positive in their decision as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So another thing that we all come up against is clients will also come to you with objections.
Oh, yeah.
Objections are normal. They do, don't they? They are
Yeah.
so normal, they are common, and we need to know how to confidently navigate them as well. I'd really love to hear if you guys want to pop down in the chat box below some of the most common objections that you guys hear. Heather and I had fun talking about these because some of them are really far-fetched,
Some
but
of them
some
are
of them are really,
wild.
really common. Yes. But look, some really common ones, Heather, that I used to hear, I was going to say see, that I used to hear was, I've already got something like this at home, or another one would be, I don't see any use for that, I won't use it, or the good old, I'll have to ask my husband. Um, when I hear these things, when we hear objections, it can mean a couple of things. Most likely, it's that I didn't make that prescription and that consultation compelling enough. My client doesn't understand how this treatment plan or how this product is different to what is sitting in their bathroom cupboard at home from the grocery store. Maybe they don't realize that they have to prepare their skin for advanced treatments because I haven't explained it properly. They don't realize that using a tyrosinase inhibitor may be a non-negotiable for those higher end treatments. All of these objections are proving to me that there just hasn't been enough compelling education to my client. So the client may also need uh, maybe a little bit more time as well to make the decision. They may need to go home and think about it for a couple of days. The other thing to remember as well is it's a numbers game. It
Yeah.
really is a numbers game. Sales is a numbers game. And what I mean by that is if they're not going to purchase from us, well, there's two things here. If they're not purchasing it from us, then they're purchasing it from someone else. So they need to purchase it from us. But it's really, really important that we are consistent with our consultations and our prescribing to each client. We need to prescribe to every single client. Say you have 10 clients in a day and you prescribe to all of them. Numbers is a handful of them will purchase that treatment plan and those products. Whereas if I have 10 clients and I prescribe to only three of them, then I probably won't get anyone selling. I'll be lucky to sell maybe even one product. So it's really important consistency with prescriptions and consistency with talking through treatment plans as well. And this is how we're going to get more success with those retail sales too. So language also is just as important when rebooking our clients as well. We want to avoid asking our clients, do you want to rebook with me? Because they're probably going to say no. I know myself. I'll be like, oh no, I'll do it online later. That's always
You
me.
forget.
Yeah. And honestly, I do mean to, but then I forget. So we we want to rephrase this, and rephrase the question like, Heather, how does the same time in 4 weeks sound for your next peel? Or Heather, would you prefer Thursday or Friday in 4 weeks' time? Giving them those options, not saying, do you want me to rebook you? If the client still resists, then a really key thing to do or some good advice that Heather and I tried and tested is saying things like, look, we're really busy at the moment. I don't want you to miss out. How about let's book you in for the same time, same day in 4 weeks' time. And if you need to move it, just give me a call. If the client has that appointment book and already booked, they're more likely to be loyal. They're more likely to come back. If you don't rebook them and just ask them to book online, probability is that they're not going to because they'll book somewhere else or they're going to forget to come back in.
Yeah, definitely. Rach, we've just had a something come through in the chat box from Janine,
Mm,
an objection, and
mm,
I'd love to hear your thoughts on
mhm,
this.
mm,
I don't have any money at the moment.
mhm.
What what does that say to you when you hear clients with that objection?
They're still buying these things, be
Hmm.
it from you or from somewhere else. So it's not that they don't have money at the moment. It's again that we haven't educated our client or put it forward a compelling enough, I guess, argument for want of a better word, to stress why the client needs this in their routine. We haven't educated them why this particular product or this particular ingredient is going to fix their problem. We may have not listened to them properly as well. We may not have really realized exactly what they're trying to say. There may have been a bit of miscommunication there, but it is really common to get the I don't have the money for it at the moment because if they're not getting it from us, they're going to be getting it from the supermarket or the department stores. They're getting it from somewhere. People are using stuff on their face. So it's really about educating and creating that compelling argument as to why they need it and really helping them realize why they need it as well. So again, it's all coming back to consultations and to talking about and educating your client.
Definitely. And I think the other thing there is they're in your business
Mm,
already. Whatever they're having done, whether they come to you for a brow wax or a facial, they've put enough value on that for them that they're willing to spend their money on it to come and see you. So to me, products, we just need to put that same value on it. We need them to realize just how powerful their transformation could be if they used a tyrosinase inhibitor, for example. You know, they're already in your business spending money. We just need to shift that focus a little bit.
I think just touching on there quickly, Heather, is I love a good analogy. And I always bring it back to a gym analogy because I find people are easily able to relate from to that one. People go to the gym, they spend money on it, they spend money on eating healthy food, which is going to support their workouts. Same as with what we're doing in clinic as well. They're coming in to see us as a professional, but they need to feed their skin at home. So it is just as important. So again, educating the client about the importance of home care and the regular treatments. Again, you can't go to the gym once and have this super summer body all ready to rock and roll. You need to put in that work, and it's going to be the same for their skin as well, or their body, or whatever it is that you're doing for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Rach, we've had just another question
Mhm.
come through. How would we explain to our client why they shouldn't be using supermarket skincare in comparison to the products that we use in clinic?
It's a really good question, and one that we get asked a lot. Look, we know our professional brands inside and out. And that's why we encourage classroom training as well, so we can keep on learning about them. A few key things here is the quality of ingredients um, that are used in our professional brands. We know the quality is extremely high, and they're specifically made for specific concerns for our clients' skin. And also, we've seen them work not only on ourselves, but on our other clients. Another one there is the delivery systems as well. Our professional brands have incredibly smart delivery systems to get the ingredients to the different layers of the skin to treat specific concerns and problems. And another one as well is the molecular weight of the ingredient as well. A lot of your over-the-counter products don't have the research all the time, and it is quite expensive as well. Remember this, these supermarket ones or the over-the-counter ones are mass made for the masses. So they don't spend as much time and energy researching all this. So molecular weight, they tend to be a larger molecular weight, which means that these products sit really, really superficially on the skin for the most part, which means your client gets a really nice soft stratum corneum, but that's about it. Um, so with professional brands, they will be made at specific molecular weights. So ingredients can go in different ways. They have specific delivery systems, and they also have specific other ingredients to enhance certain ingredients that are in that whole I guess, product itself. So there's a few different key things. But again, why we encourage classroom training so you can really dive into those key and unique points of your specific skincare brand or your specific device or modality that you're using as well, and really knowing that. So that's where I normally go back onto is those kind of few things, molecular weight, ingredients, and it's a professional brand.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks so much, Rach. And if anyone else has any other questions or objections, please pop them down in the chat. We've just got a message through from Renee that she is loving this webinar. Thank you so much. We are loving having you here with us. Alrighty, let's keep it moving. Now, personality type and mirroring.
Mm.
Studies show that people best respond to people that have personalities that are like their own. And this is a really key principle that we need to consider when we're prescribing to our clients. So it doesn't change the information that we give our client. However, it's going to change how we deliver that information. So there are four main personality types, and depending on which you are, it can determine your communication style, your motivators, your stresses, and so many other different factors of your personality. Now, if we can identify our client's personality type and we can cater to it, we are going to have a much higher success rate with our consultations and our conversions. If you've ever been to classroom training, you know that I absolutely bang on about personality type. I feel like it is actually one of the most valuable things that I ever learned in my career as a therapist. And I know that Rachel really loves it as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what we're going to do now is because this is a personal favorite subject for both of us, we actually want to take you through this. And it's not going to be super, super in depth. So we do encourage you after this webinar to go and do some additional research on personality profiling because it's fascinating.
Mm.
But we're going to take you through the four main personality types. Now, I want you to keep in mind that it is rare that somebody will be just one personality type. Often you're going to be a mix of two, even three. So, as we talk about them, there may be different characteristics that you identify with.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go through our first one. So the first one here is our dominance. Now, this client is a client who's quite confident. They're independent. They're quite direct and results orientated. They also tend to make decisions quite quickly. These clients don't want fluff. They want you to stick to really those key points and what it's going to do for them. So I'm sure we can all think about these type of clients. Um, Sometimes someone who isn't a D can find these quiet clients a little bit intimidating or a little bit too direct. um, but it's not. It's just how they it's just their personality type.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you guys an example of each of these personality types and how I would prescribe to them a multiple molecular weight hyaluronic acid. Background is our lovely client here, Heather, is concerned with dehydration, fine lines, and wrinkles. And you'll just see through each of these, I've slightly tweaked my language to kind of mirror each personality type. So this is our dominant person. So Heather, look, our multiple weight hyaluronic acid quickly addresses dehydration and it's going to visibly plump the skin. It's going to give you noticeable results fast. It has proven effectiveness and it's backed by data. And this product is going to ensure that you are looking your best, saving you time and effort. Does this sound good to you?
Yeah.
So nice and direct,
Short,
no fluff,
simple.
but to the point. And it's not
Yeah.
being rude, it's just cutting down the fluff and going straight to the point with that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So our second personality type is influence. Now, these clients are outgoing. They are people's people. They love people. They're people orientated. They are trusting and they can be emotional in their decisions. And these clients can also be quite spontaneous too. Now, if you have a client who is an influence personality type, they love to hear magic formula stories. They love to hear other people's success. So before and after photos are going to be a really powerful tool in your consultations with these clients as well. So again, a way that we could talk to our client is, look, Heather, our multiple molecular weight hyaluronic acid not only hydrates and plumps your skin, but it's also going to give you that radiant, youthful glow that everyone's going to notice. Imagine the compliments that you'll receive and the confident boost that you're going to have from having such vibrant and healthy skin. Plus, it is fun and it is an easy addition into your skincare that you're going to love sharing with your friends. I've also got this lovely client that I had in the other day. They've been using this multiple molecular weight hyaluronic acid for the past 4 weeks. They've given me permission to show you these pictures, and then I showed my lovely Heather these before and afters.
That's beautiful. That's perfect.
Our third personality type is our steadiness. Now, these clients are patient and they are loyal. Once you have built rapport, they will be your client forever. They like to take time to think about their decisions and they can be a little bit resistant to change. These are clients that you do want to spend a little bit of extra time with. Take your time to explain the products, what they're going to do for them, with this personality type, you may not always make the sale on the day. They may want to think about it, but they're also clients that are going to come back to you and purchase the same product over and over again. Something that these clients may be really good for is smart trialing. Heather, can you just briefly explain what smart trialing is?
Yeah, absolutely. So keep in mind, this isn't going to be something that's suitable for every client. However, sometimes for these S personalities, it can actually be a really powerful tool. So I'm an S through and through, and we can be really resistant to change. Um, and something that you can do is introduce smart trialing. So this may be either you're gifting the sample to the client or they're purchasing the sample, but basically getting them to take the product home. And you could say, if you come back within 7 days and purchase the full size product, I'm going to give you 10% off. Whatever that may be. And it can look different. And that's where your amazing business development managers can absolutely help to strategize. But doing that, it puts value on a sample.
Mm.
It's not something that just goes into the back of their drawer and they throw it away and forget about it. They're going to use it, they're going to trial the product, they're going to find that they love it, and then they're going to come back to purchase that from you.
Yeah, I really love that, Heather. It's such a great idea.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so look, for this client, Heather, our multiple molecular weight hyaluronic acid is gently going to hydrate and plump your skin. It's going to provide consistent and long-lasting results. It's really designed to support your skin's health, giving you reliable and soothing skincare experience. And you're going to feel confident knowing that your skin is well cared for with a product that you can trust.
Yeah, brilliant.
And then our last personality type is our conscientious. So our C. Now, these clients are analytical, they are systematic, they love statistics and case studies. They can be a little bit skeptical and they do prefer to do their own research as well. They like a lot of detail. They want to know about specific ingredients, delivery systems, and they may pull away if they have felt pressured to make an immediate decision. So I'm definitely a C. This has been me through and through. So again, Heather, our multiple molecular weight hyaluronic acid is meticulously formulated to deliver precise hydration and skin plumping backed by extensive scientific research. Each molecular weight of this hyaluronic acid is going to target different skin layers, ensuring a really comprehensive and long-lasting moisture and hydration. We have detailed clinical data and proven efficacy as well. So you can confidently rely on this product to really enhance your skin's health and appearance.
It's brilliant. And I think that's so powerful just listening to you, Rachel, then the way in which you delivered the information was different to each personality type. However, the basis of the information remained the same. And that's all it is. It's just changing that language. That
Mhm.
was a brilliant example. Thank you so much for going through that with us. As we were actually going through that, Rach, we got a couple of questions come through, so we might just answer those. Now, we have a message here from Renee. So I think she's had to pop off now, but she'll be able to see this in the recording. She said that she had a client the other night who was using Image Skincare and had gone back to QV. She said she's really happy with QV, but then she has other clients who are obsessed with Image and she just didn't know what to say or how to handle that.
Yep. I'd be a bit shocked and lost for words as well. Um, I would really want to nut down what exactly she didn't like about image. What was she using? Was it that she wasn't getting results? Did she have unrealistic expectations? What is it about QV that she likes? Figure out, I'd be wanting to sit down and have a good consultation with her and figure out exactly where her head is with that one, to be able to give a good answer back for that.
Absolutely. And it may be a case of her skin's changed and maybe her
Yeah,
image prescription needs to change as
yeah,
well.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
beautiful. And Stacey said that she loves the smart trialing idea. Yeah, it is a brilliant one. I know our business development managers, particularly Julie here in Queensland, is a really big advocate for that for particular personality types because it can be such a powerful tool. So yeah, that's brilliant. But guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I know we've run a little bit over, but we had so many great questions. And we really appreciate the collaboration. So please, if you have any final questions, any objections, or anything that you want to ask before we finish up today, please pop it down in the chat. We've actually just got another question through. How would you recommend practicing these personality traits consultations? As I'm a sole trader, how did you get better at these techniques?
Practice makes perfect, doesn't it? Like Heather was saying before, there's a lot of different training and resources out there. So I'd definitely do your own research. But this is DISC that we use today, so DISC. Um, Research, reading up. Both of us have gone through DISC training ourselves multiple times over the years. And then just practicing and practicing and practicing.
That's it. And it's trial and error. I mean, you don't get it immediately, do you? It takes a little bit of practice to not only get your wording, but also be able to identify these different
Mm.
personalities in your clients. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. It's all practice and just a little bit of extra research there. Thanks so much, Donna, for joining us. Any other questions, feel free to pop them down in the chat. Otherwise, we might finish up for today. If you do have any further questions that you want answered, feel free to reach us at education@probeautysolutions.com.au. That comes straight through to the education team. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And thank you so much, Rachel, for your time today. I've really appreciated you being here for this webinar.
Absolute pleasure. Just for everyone as well, I've put in the link for that Mastering the Arts of Retail training just in the chat there. So if you want to click on that one, thank you so much. Please join us again in another month. We will be going through some even more exciting subjects. And thank you for sticking around with us as well. Sorry for running a little bit late, but can't wait to hear from you guys soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all so much for being here. Take care, and we hope to catch you again for another Tuesdays at 10.
See you, everyone.
Bye.